Today I come to you with a very urgent matter, and I'm seeing it starting to grow. Others following others in this deception. And I was led by Father to bear my witness today that you all need to be very careful of who you follow, what words you take into your spirit, and you must test the spirits of every word you receive or see. Because people don't understand the enemy. One of the number one rules of engagement for war is that you must know your enemy and know how they think, how they move. And many don't understand that. Many do not understand that, and they're falling prey to the deceptions of the enemy. Yahusha HaMashiach, the only begotten Son of the Most High YAHUAH, is the scarlet thread of redemption that is woven through all books of Scripture. The true books of Scripture. He is the promised one, anointed one, from the book of Enoch to the book of Revelation. And for those that do not cling to him and do not have him in their life, they will crumble just like the walls of Jericho fell. My story is that I was born and raised from 5 generations of Mormons in the Mormon Church, or some know it as the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 5 generations of pioneer Mormons, very devout people if you study the pioneer Mormons. They held very tightly to their faith. And I was a devout Mormon well into my 30s, and I held many positions of leadership in the Mormon Church. I studied the Bible. I studied the Book of Mormon. Honestly, I studied the Book of Mormon than I did the Bible before I saw a few things in the Bible that contradicted the Book of Mormon, or I saw where Joseph Smith had actually copied a lot of Isaiah and Deuteronomy in the Book of Mormon. There were lots of things that Father started to point out to me, and 10 years of deep, intense, and heart-rending study, I left the Mormon Church, and I left everything in leaving the Mormon Church. And I didn't want to be deceived again. Because anybody who has a logical thinking mind can see the lies of the Mormon Church if they study. They will see the deceptions of Joseph Smith. They will see all of that. And sadly, a lot of Mormons come out of Mormonism and they turn atheist. Well, I couldn't do that because I know for a fact, having studied science and astrology and the human body alone tells me that there has to be a creator. Because of all the intricacies of each creation. Just, there has to be a creator. So I couldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And that's where a lot of people are, even in Christianity, leaving Christianity, which is another false religion. Religion in and of itself is a creation of Satan. It is Satan's snare that keeps us from having a true relationship with Yahuwah, our creator. Okay? So as you're coming out of the lies and deception, you must realize that you are sitting on the riverbank and you are prospecting for gold. And each pan of water and dirt and gold, you have to sift out the dirt to get to the gold. It takes time. It's methodical. It's monotonous. But you will be led to those little gold nuggets of truth. And another picture Father gave me was also sitting down to this huge puzzle, and Satan has mixed in all his false pieces of the puzzle with his. And we have to sort them out. You know, Jeremiah 8:8, it tells us that the lying pens of the scribes created falsehoods, and that we inherited lies and traditions from our fathers in Jeremiah 16:19. We know all this, right? We must walk in wisdom. That's why Proverbs says, seek wisdom. Seek wisdom, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. If you do not have the Ruach HaKodesh, you will not be led to the truth. You will be deceived thinking that you know right from wrong, which discernment is not between right and wrong. Discernment is between right and almost right. You can see how there's all these different shades of blue in here, right? You have to determine which one of those blue pieces is really part of the true puzzle. It's between right and almost right. Okay? But for those of you who say, oh, Satan doesn't copy Father, blah, 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 that's baloney because he says so in his own words. Okay? And it's here a prophet of Yahuwah stated this right? And Isaiah 14:14, that Lucifer said, I will ascend above the highest clouds, and I will make myself like the Most High. Now, if you're trying to make yourself like someone, then you do all the things that they do, right? You copy and mimic what they do. And that's exactly what Satan has done and is doing. Because when you read in his own satanic Bible, he has this stating, as above, so below. See that right there? As above, so below. And now we see him right here. He's got 3 fingers pointing up and 3 fingers pointing down. 3 fingers representing Father, Son, and Ruach HaKodesh. And he himself he thinks himself the God, and he has an unholy spirit. And then this is his false Messiah. Okay? So we see that Satan copies everything. So to say that he doesn't, that's just a bald-faced lie. Another example Father gave me was $100 bills. And how do you determine between a counterfeit and the real thing? Well, you have to get to know the real thing first. And the way you do that is through fasting, prayer, and study, seeking wisdom, as we're told to in Proverbs. And then the wisdom, the Ruach HaKodesh, can help point out to us, well, let's see if we can find out where the deception is in this counterfeit. Now, both of these $100 bills look fairly similar, but do you know for sure which one is the true $100 bill? A lot of you are just taking both of these pieces of paper, both of these, the $100 bill and the piece of paper that's a lie, and tossing them out the window. So you're basically throwing away $100 bill, throwing away $100 bill because you don't know which one is true. You're throwing away $100 bills regardless because you're throwing both of them away. That's exactly what you're doing, because some people say, oh, well, there's all these different crucified saviors, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, there is, because like I said, as above, so below. Satan's going to try to deceive you with many false Christs. And we're even told that by Yahusha. There are many false Christs, many false messiahs. Are you going to be deceived by them? Are you going to throw the baby out with the bathwater? Are you going to throw the one Messiah away, the one true Messiah away, because of all these other false ones? Do you know how to tell between the counterfeits? Do you know how to find the one and only narrow way amongst all these other doors? It's like when you're standing there in front of a bunch of doors and you have to choose one. Which one is it? Okay? The only begotten Son of the Most High YAHUAH is Yahusha HaMashiach. He is the anointed one promised and mentioned from the book of Enoch to the book of Revelation. He has fulfilled over 300 prophecies in the Old Testament alone, which is a statistical impossibility. True. Like, it's truly statistically impossible. And my friends, if you take your eyes off the Messiah, you will be just like Peter, who will sink. Yes, those waves that we see around us as you're walking on the water, you see the lies of the enemy, you see the deceptions, you see all those things. And if you focus on those waves and take your eyes off the Messiah, looking at all the other false messiahs, you're going to sink. You're going to sink. And the reason for this is because you need 3 points of reference to triangulate your navigation. You ask any navigator, whether it's air flight, on the seas, or truckers, they will tell you need 3 points of reference to navigate. Why? Because you might not know when to take that right-hand turn, or go straight, or turn left, or go back east. You have to have 3 points of reference to triangulate your coordinates to get to your destination. 3, Father, YAHUAH, Ruach HaKodesh, and Yahusha HaMashiach are the 3 that you need to complete your journey. We see this echoed in Ecclesiastes 4:12. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. Okay? But keep in mind, if you deny the true Messiah, Yahusha HaMashiach, before men, which a lot of you are doing on this platform, then he will deny you before his Father in heaven, YAHUAH. He will deny you before YAHUAH. Your advocate will deny you before the judge.